This screencast focuses on previewing your work and sending it to your users. So you've created your Google form, you have added your questions, and now you want to see what your form will look like to your user. In order to do this, you'll go up to the icon that looks like an eye and select it. In a new tab, you will receive your actual previewed form. This is what your user will see, and this is the experience that they will have. I suggest going through and adding your responses, ensuring that your actual questions show up the way you would like them to show up, ensuring that certain questions are required as you would like them to be, making sure that you select next. If you've created a form that goes to different locations based on your responses, that all of your components work correctly. Once you know that all of your components work correctly, now it's time to send this document to your user. In order to do that, there are a couple ways that you can do it. If you go back to your actual editing document, the tab that has your editing document, you'll see the button that says send. That's one way to do this. You can send it via email, you can send it as a link, or you can embed it somewhere. That's what each one of these icons mean. For email, you're going to have to type in each person's email. For the link, it's basically just giving you this actual link. You can also shorten this URL right here within Google Forms, which makes it a lot easier. Sometimes when you're sending a document, you don't want to send this URL that has about 50 letters in it because it's not going to be easy for someone to retype that. So I suggest pressing shorten URL. And this one gives you a URL that's slightly shorter and easier for someone to type in. There's also a different way to go about this, which I'll show you in just a moment. You can also send it through Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Typically what I do is go back to my actual form. Within the URL box, I select the entire URL. I copy it. In a new tab, I type URL shortener. It's doing the same thing that the last option gave you. However, sometimes when you do it this way, the URL comes out a little shorter, which makes it easier for students to use. When you type in URL shortener, go down to where it says Google URL shortener. And I use this feature often to get shortened URLs for different things so that people can access a website later. In the box, press paste. So what you're doing is pasting the URL that you created into that box and press shorten URL. It gives you an even shorter URL than the first page gave you. The first page, when it shortened the URL, it still had several letters that were up there. This one's just a little bit shorter. From here, you can always copy this URL. If you click done, you can also go back. These are all URLs that I've shortened, and I have 122 of them. But if you go back here, you can also get the QR code on the last item that's up here is the last one that you just created. Select it and click QR code, and it gives you an option that you can copy that QR code, which will make it very easy for students to take that assessment on their phone or some other digital device. So this is the information that you'll want to give to your students. You'll want to give them this shortened URL, which will take them directly to this form, the actual form that you want them to fill out. Or you can give them the QR code so that they can just scan it with their phones and automatically take the form.